Hi Pisces, welcome to your May general reading. We're going to be doing tarot only, starting off with the Lenormand, just doing energy pulls. Let's get right into it. Remember, these messages are general. Take what resonates, throw out the rest, and try to make it fit if it doesn't fit. You're going to know if it's your story or not. Especially using the Lenormand, these are very powerful cards. Lenormand is a system. It's not tarot, it's not the oracles, it's its own system. Okay, we have cross as you found as the crowning energy. We have the park. Okay, so not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this, Pisces. I can't do that. I'm not that kind of reader. I can't do it. But it looks like you're gonna be dealing with some challenges here. Okay, let's pull the tarot. And it's just about really looking at yourself. And who likes to do that too much, right? I mean, it's a necessary part of growth, but let's get these down first, and then we're going to pull. Okay, I'm going to pull. These are going to be a row of clarifiers, okay? Give us a little more info about what's going on. All right, so let's get right into this. So let's talk about the cross first, right? I mean, this energy is calling you to take responsibility for choices you've made in your life or, right, for things that you may be allowed to happen, right? Despite the cost. I mean, you really do need to take real responsibility here, okay? Even if you found yourself in a situation where, now, obviously, things are going to be happening. So, for example, right, we're in quarantine. A lot of people are in weird spaces with their work, if they're working at all. Obviously, if you lost your job because of COVID, obviously that is not your fault, right? But now it's like, okay, now what do you do? You know, what do you do now? You need to take responsibility for now. How are things going to be rolling out now? You need to take responsibility for how you've been with your money up to this point, choices that you've made in the past, all of those kinds of things, right? So that is the crowning energy. And then in the foundation, right, we have the birch broom, right? And so this is one of the, the Lenormand is a little different than regular tarot in a couple of ways, but they have some very particular troublesome cards in the Lenormand, and this one warns of a hot temper, of conflict, some sort of strife, like cyclical arguments and or negative behaviors. It could also be cyclical negative behaviors, things that you continuously do. And again, Pisces, it's just about being honest with yourself. When I say this, sometimes I get such nasty comments. Well, oh, you don't know Pisces, you hate Pisces. I don't hate any of the signs. It's so not true. But I do recognize that every archetype has their shadow side and their beautiful side. And the thing is, even the shadow, it depends on how you look at it. You guys are the 12th house, the house of self-undoing. You guys are ruled by Neptune, which is a lack of clarity. On the one hand, you guys are completely intuitive. You're the most intuitive sign. You're sensitive, you're beautiful, you connect, you help people, you're selfless in so many ways. Those are all beautiful attributes. Beautiful. But at the same time, there is this tendency to, in many ways, victimize yourselves, right? And to also do things that are in a very cyclical way, end up sabotaging, because the 12th house is the house of self-undoing. So in order to grow, it's just a matter of calling ourselves out on these things, right? But now I do have to say that we have the public card here. And with the Lenormand, the cards speak to each other, right? So this is, I have this in the future. As the final outcome, rather. Whenever we have the public card, it means a public space, oddly enough, even though there's nobody in there, right? But it does represent the public space. And what do I mean by that? I mean anything having to do with anything external to your own personal space, home. So this could be people you're dating. This could be people that you work with. This could be a job. This could be your community. This could be a circle of friends. You follow? Like anybody external to your particular home. This is really going to be speaking to. Okay. So this can have to do again with work. Cyclical behavior, cyclical negative behavior that you end up creating for yourself having to do with work. Many of you are going to be getting in touch with negative cyclical behaviors that you allow to happen in relationship, whether it's that you go after the wrong kind of energies, you allow people to do things to you, or that you continuously sabotage because of something that you're nursing, some kind of pain, right? But the idea here is we do have to understand that this is a calling for you to really bring all of your focus and your energies together, to get all of your ducks in a row, and to just become just a more authentic version of yourself right now through all of this. You're really being called to do this right now, to really have complete accountability, be super honest with yourself, put all your ducks in a row, and really look at how it is that you handle these things outside of yourself, right? Do you have a tendency to blow up at situations, at work? Do you have a tendency to blow up in situations having to do with relationship, maybe overreact in the moment? Like, you're being called to seriously look at this as we go into this next cycle. And particularly, we're going to have Venus is going to be retrograde in Gemini during all of this. So a lot of us are going to be very deep in thought and getting in touch with these parts of ourselves as well, because Venus doesn't only rule relationships. Venus also is a money planet, and it's also about our self-esteem. So this is you getting really honest with yourself, ultimately in a positive way. Now, what I like about this is if you do the work, because the cross does mean if you put that work in, there's benefit on the other side. There's like retribution on the other side, for lack of a better term, which is really nice. So now let's get into the cards. We have the Sun reverse. Still positive, even in the reverse, but we have to figure out, like, right now, this is an indicator of, all right, whenever we have the Sun reverse, the Sun rules Leo, and whenever we have Leo reverse, there's some sense of egotism. So what's getting in your way of being on that metaphorical home path, right, where you really belong, is you holding on fast to something from the past, and it's you're holding on to it via your ego, right? So and we do this all the time, right? And we don't even realize we're doing it. Like, and so going into this space, it's this recognition that you might be getting in your own way, having to do with something in career, or having to do with this relationship, or even this friendship. But this is where we have this self-analysis really needs to come in. And the thing is here, look at what we have. What did I mention before? We have the Hangman reverse. The Hangman is ruled by Neptune. That's your ruler of the 12th house. And in reverse, the Hangman is a victim mentality. So you really need to figure out, are you holding on to something from the past, or the way something was, that ends up making you more of a victim than not? And are you holding on to that, because of your confusion and because of your fears? And these things are done, Pisces, because you guys are so sensitive, right? I mean, that's what it is. It's not that there's malice involved in it or anything like that. It's sensitivity, right? I mean, you guys really are in many ways like an exposed nerve. You feel everything, right? You're so empathic, you're so intuitive, but you're emotionally sensitive at the same time. So we have the Tower reverse. Now, the reverse in the Tower just means the same exact thing as the upright, just more intense. Now let's talk about this for a minute, because the Tower does mean the ending of something. It's a major arcana. This can mean the ending of a job. This can mean the ending of a relationship. Yes, it's going to mean something different for each of you, but I'm being very called to say, it's because of the Lenormand cards that we got. First of all, the Tower is connected to Mars, and Mars is linked to the Chariot, okay? And the Chariot is a Cancer energy, and Cancer rules that metaphorical home space. So what does all of that mean? All of these astrological connections that I'm making. What this means is whatever you've been doing up to this point, whether it's your job, the way you handle relationships, or the way you've been thinking, it's going to be different for each of you. It's got to go, because it's not serving you, okay? It's time for that to be taken down, and you need to recognize that it's time to let Mars shift your path in a different direction that's going to serve you a lot better. Now, for some of you, this is not going to mean the ending of a career, and this is not going to mean the ending of a relationship, but it's going to mean the pulling down of your belief system, you recognizing cycles that you perpetuate your own life, things that you allow and not allowing them anymore because you want to live a more authentic version of yourself. And this is only going to benefit you by doing this. So again, it's going to be different for each of you. For some of you, it's going to be the ending of a job. For some of you, it's going to be the ending of a relationship or a friendship. And others of you, it's going to be very internal, because this is about illumination, right? You have to understand the Tower is about something becoming illuminated. And because of this illumination, it can't continue the way it was anymore. It needs to be taken down because it's not meant for you. Okay? And I'm feeling this very strong connection to it being an internal kind of epiphany, because we do have the cross. But again, it's going to be different for each of you. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles as the clarifier. Man, this is awesome. This is great. This is Sagittarius and Capricorn. Sagittarius is ruled by the great benefic of Jupiter, which is about luck and expansion. Sagittarius is about moving forward with integrity. And Capricorn is about putting the work in. Putting the work in. And moving forward because you're putting the work in. Now, let's call it what it is. Capricorn is also ruled by Saturn. So we're not going to make it seem like a party, even though this is very positive, only because Saturn is about restriction and delay and all of that stuff. Yes, right? Putting in that hard work. So it's not going to happen in a minute, but it's going to happen. You put your energies in, there's a beautiful blessing on the other side. And I always say, everybody calls Jupiter the great benefic, and it is. It is. Okay? Saturn, though, when you work with Saturn, man, the biggest blessings are on the other side. Decades and decades and decades long kind of blessings. You know what I mean? It's putting in the work and getting what it is that you want. So I really like this, guys. Look at this. We have a brand new beginning. Ace is always a new beginning. It's a new cycle, and something in swords of truth. Swords of communication, swords of reality, right? So it's an air energy. It's an air energy, you know? It's Mercury. Mercury is that alchemical process for moving from here to there, moving out of something that was not healthy into something better through communication. This could be new communication coming in via the internet, new communication coming in via a text message, an email, a phone call, right? Anything having to do with Mercury, but a new beginning happening with that. And then we have the Nine of Wands that's clarifying this. I kind of love this, okay? Because look at this energy. He's got a bandage on. He looks tired. He's like, oh man. And he's looking back at the past. And he's like, yeah, man, I've been through it. But there's still life. Look at the leaves growing out. There's still passion, right? So this is Moon, I feel, in Sagittarius. Let's go and do this. Let's just go. Let's get on that path and move forward. You know? So it's being tired because you've been through a lot, but not being done with the situation. So you're not, you know, I love this, because this is telling me that you have a new start. There's a new cycle happening here. So this is a new cycle in a relationship. Some of you may be reconnecting, reconciliation energy. Some of you may be getting a brand new job that speaks to you on a much deeper level. It's more your truth kind of thing, right? And even though you've been through a lot, you have a lot of energy left to put into something. And now we have the Six of Pentacles energy that's clarified by the Three of Wands energy. So the Six of Pentacles in reverse, this is a Moon in Taurus. And this is, you know, you feeling very deeply that you don't feel this mental, physical, and emotional connection in this relationship, right? Because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus rules relationship, self-esteem, and it also rules money. So if that has to do with relationship, is you don't feel that connection. If it has to do with a job, it means that yeah, you got the new job, but you just don't feel like you're making enough money where you're going to be supported enough, you know, to continue in it. And then we have the Three of Wands energy. Three of Wands is about still positive in the reverse. This is a not yet card. This is still positive. This is Sun in Aries. Whenever we have the Sun hanging out, it's always still positive. And Aries is about a new path, a new perspective. So the Three of Wands could simply be because of the quarantine, you know, and you know, you have this fire in your belly to move forward. You might be feeling a little trepidatious about the money if it has to do with career. You might be feeling a little trepidatious because you're afraid to totally let your guard down with that relationship. Even though you're starting this new beginning, you're scared. Don't let your fears get in the way. Again, don't let it. You need to just look at things for what they are. Really get in touch with your role in the situation. So important. But the Three of Wands does indicate something getting in the way of you being able to get on this path. So it's more of a not yet card rather than a not at all card. So is it the COVID? I don't know. Is it somebody standing in your way? Could be. but I don't think so. I'm not getting that energy. I feel like this is more mental than anything. So you have this fire in your belly. You know what you want to move into. And then we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. It's just, kind of an interesting energy because this is Jupiter and Gemini. And Jupiter, again, is that great benefic about luck and expansion. Rules Sagittarius, about moving forward. Gemini, ruled by Mercury, another moving forward energy. Lots of communication, right? But I'm getting that the communication is not coming in. I feel like Pisces, I feel like you're waiting for somebody to communicate with you. Or you're feeling very trepidatious about reaching out to somebody else. You know, because we have the Mercury energy here. Swords are communication, right? So when we have the swords in reverse, it can mean a lack of communication coming in, going out, right? Because you're in this space of you know, just trying to figure out how you feel about a situation, perhaps, right? Trying to figure out, how can I have this? And you feeling like, I'm not going to have this luck and expansion in this relationship because they're not calling me. Or I just don't feel like I could call them. I feel like it's against me. You know, I don't feel comfortable to call them. You have all this desire, but yet you don't want to call them. And it's all mental. It's like not even based in reality. Right? And then the final outcome here is the Fool, which is, you know, this is Uranus energy. This is you not making the attempt to do anything different. This is you not taking that calculated risk to do anything different. Taking that chance. You don't want to take the chance. Pisces, you're going to have to look at yourself really, really hard and really look at this connection that you're in as well. Really, I mean, this is a very, very clear reading to me. It really is. Because there's so much potential, but you can't get in your own way, Pisces. You can't play, you need to really look at your process. You can't, you know, victimize yourself. Tap into the fire in your belly that you have for this new opportunity, this new chance, this new start over. And understand that a lot of what you may be feeling can very well be your fears at work. If you're not connecting with that, then this is not your reading. It's not about the reading being right or wrong. You guys have to understand that in tarot, by the way. For those of you who maybe are not that seasoned with, there's no such thing as right or wrong. It's just not your reading, right? I didn't capture your energy, but because this is a very specific read right here. So if you resonate with this, I'm really encouraging you, you know, in the best way to give yourself a gift. Get your ducks in a row, be super honest with yourself, and really use this opportunity to do some beautiful growing, because I mean the energies support that, which is, to me, at the end of the day, nothing but positive, right? Because remember, if you put the work in, this brings big blessings. So good stuff. Yeah, all necessary stuff is what I should say. All right, Pisces, thank you so much for joining me. See you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.